رافي توكس، بس مثل ما تشوفون هالمرة من الصحراء. حلقتنا انسبايرد بأهم الأفلام المنتظرة لهاي السنة، دون بارت 2 اللي صوروا مشاهدة بين الأردن وأبو ظبي.
It's okay. I'm here. It's been a while since you've had one of those nightmares. Tell me, what was it about?
من زمان وأنا ينتظر الجزء الثاني، لأنه كان عندي الفضول أشوف شو راح يسوي المخرج الرائع داني فيلنوف والفريق العبقري ورا الفيلم. يعني هاي الحلقة It's a Dune Special. راح يكون لنا لقاءات مع كل نجوم الفيلم، وراح نحكي عن كل شيء حابين تعرفوه عن دون بارت 2. دون بارت 2 من أكثر الأفلام المنتظرة هاي السنة. تخيلوا بمجرد طرح التذاكر تعطل موقع AMC، وهذا بسبب الإقبال على حجز الفيلم اللي رح ينطلق بصالات السينما حول العالم ابتداء من أول مارس.
This world is beyond cruelty. You've been fighting the Harkonnens for decades. My family's been fighting them for centuries. They were massacred alongside my father.
Your father didn't believe in revenge.
التوقعات تقول إنه افتتاحية الجزء الثاني راح يكون أكبر بكثير من الجزء الأول، متوقع أن يحقق خلال أسبوع واحد على أكثر من 65 مليون دولار مقارنة بالجزء الأول اللي حقق 41 مليون دولار. ننتظر ونشوف. بس المشكلة أنا بطبيعتي شخص مو صبور أبداً، فأكيد ما رح انتظر لمارس حتى أشوفه، واللي هو رح يكون موعد إطلاق الفيلم. المهم طلبت من الاستوديو if it's possible إنه أشوفه قبل ما ينزل، وما قصروا لبوا طلبي وشفت الفيلم من كم يوم، وقررت أسوي حلقة خاصة حتى أخبركم عن كل تفاصيله. التقيت بكل نجوم العمل، تيموثي، شالامي، وزيندايا، أوستن، باتلر، اللي كانوا very welcoming.
The prophet. Why is that a bad thing? Use it.
Because all my visions lead to horror.
Because you lose control.
Because I gain it.
سنة 1965 نزلت رواية حققت نجاح غير عادي، والنجاح أغرى مخرجين كثير إنه يحولوها الفيلم سينمائي. بس يبدو ما كان الموضوع بهالسهولة، لأنه مخرجين كثير ما قدروا يكملون التجربة. الرواية هي رواية دون، ملحمة الخيال العلمي للكاتب الأمريكي فرانك هربرت. بال2021 المخرج الكندي داني فيلنوف نجح وحول الرواية الفيلم مدهش، وحقق نجاح كبير بين جماهير السينما، وأخذوا جوائز كثيرة مثل 6 جوائز أوسكار.
And the Oscar goes to Hans Zimmer, Dune.
التصوير بالصحراء صعب كثير، خاصة إذا كان صيف والجو حار، وبعد أصعب للمخرج اللي يبقى اون سيت الساعات وممكن أيام. يمكن ما يكون مشهور مثل كريستوفر نولان أو كوينتين تارانتينو، بس الأفلام اللي أخرجها الكندي داني فيلنوف راح تستغرب وتقول معقول أخرج كل هالأفلام؟ أول إبداع كان بال2010 من أخرج فيلم إيساندي، السبب اللي خلاه يكون واحد من أهم مخرجين العالم. من بعدها أخرج فيلم بريزنرز وسيكاريو، وبعدين بليد رانر حتى 2021 من أخرج دون، واللي كانت قنبلة إبداعية بالإخراج.
One day, the legend will be born.
محبة النجوم الداني لا توصف، ومن حكيت وياهم حسيت إيش قد إنها صادقة، فعلاً مؤمنين به، مثل ما نقول بالعراقي على العمياني. المخرج أكد إنه رحلته مع الرواية راح تنتهي مع الجزء الثالث، واللي راح يكون باسم دون مسايا. بكل تأكيد إنتاج جزء ثاني من أي عمل ناجح إلى مميزاته، لكن بنفس الوقت التحديات ممكن تكون أكبر بكثير، وبهاللقاء تحدثوا عنها صناع العمل.
What was the biggest challenge working on part 2?
The biggest challenge with both movies were the writing, and specifically on part 2, was to make sure that someone who will not have seen part 1 will be able to enjoy the second part as a film in its all. I mean, it's like to make sure that you didn't need to see part 1. That was the biggest challenge. Yeah.
You're brave, we all know that. Be simple. Be direct.
For me, it was getting back in the mindset of Dune. A lot of fight training, Kali training in Los Angeles. We shared an instructor, Alvin. And a lot of Chicopsa. And really just trying to immerse in the tone again, revisiting the original book. And just getting back in the worldview of Frank Herbert.
The second one was much easier. Even though my role was bigger and the role was more challenging, it was just easier because I felt like it was a reunion. I was very comfortable. I knew Denis. I'd worked with him. I'd worked with him on 2 previous films. And the second film, it was just, he was much more layered.
بالجزء الثاني نشوف وجوه جديدة بالفيلم يشاركون نجوم الجزء الأول اللي شفناهم وحبيناهم. جوش برولين واحد من الممثلين اللي افتقد زملائه بالجزء الأول.
What was it like working on this one?
It was great. It was great to be able to come back to the same people and have a few, you know, Austin's new and Florence is new and all that. So it was nice to have some new blood, but it's a great group. You know, I think we missed Oscar a bit because he, you know, there was a major bond that happened in the first film.
You young pup. Deal with this prophet.
مواقع التصوير هي من أكثر الأشياء المدهشة بسلسلة دون اللي صوروا مشاهد كبيرة منها بوادي رم بالأردن وبأبو ظبي، وهذا بسبب تشابه طبيعة البلدين مع أحداث السلسلة اللي أنا حسيته كلش قريب من الكالتشر العربي. من التقيت بنجوم العمل خبروني شقد استمتعوا بوقتهم بالأردن والإمارات.
What was it like going to Jordan and Abu Dhabi?
I loved it. I love Jordan. I mean, we'd spent time in Jordan before, but I love Jordan. There's a lot to do. The people were actually really nice. They told us when you get there, I'm sure for insurance purposes, like don't leave your hotel and all that. Yeah. The first thing I did was leave my hotel. And I found a gym on a 3rd floor in town that I would work out in, and it was all Jordanians.
It's beautiful.
And it was amazing. And I got to know a lot of the people in town. And then Abu Dhabi was an amazing experience because I was lucky to have my family there. You know, when I wasn't working, we would climb the dunes and all that. And we'd try to do it before 10 o'clock. It was a great personal experience, an amazing professional experience.
Zendaya, of course, I have to ask you about Jordan and Abu Dhabi. What was it like?
It was extraordinary. I think everyone was so kind and so welcoming and also just beautiful. Like, I think something that I always cherish is like being able to be in these locations and, you know, with beautiful views, and I'm sitting on top of these sand dunes and the sun is setting and I can't believe that I get to shoot here and work here every day. So yeah, just an immense sense of gratitude to be able to have a job that lets you travel the world.
Tell me about filming in Jordan, Wadi Rum and Abu Dhabi. What was it like?
Difficult. It was a great joy because we had great support there, great film crews and great logistic, but the weather was intense because we were working in a very harsh conditions, so that my crew was very, very generous to accept to go as deep in the desert as we were. You know, there was some time of the days that it was so hot that you had difficulty to think. I mean, your mind was evaporating to your ear.
See possible futures all at once. And in so many futures, our enemies prevail. But I do see a way. There is a narrow way through.
الأكل العربي هي من أكثر الأشياء اللي استمتع بها النجم تيموثي شالامي، وأكيد اتفق وياه. أكو أطيب من التبولة؟
I loved being in Jordan. I loved being in Abu Dhabi. I felt it sort of healing. And
did you try the food?
Absolutely, of course, of course. Especially in Abu Dhabi. I mean, we were so spoiled in this resort, and the food was incredible. You know, in Jordan, a lot of great local eating, and I loved it. I loved being in Aqaba. I love the Jordanian people. It was a dream shooting there.
Timothy, of course, I have to speak about the fight scenes. I don't know how you did that.
Yeah, no, it was extraordinary. It was cathartic, and all the more cathartic to get to do it with Austin, and so great when a physical sequence in a movie or an action sequence has great meaning to the story and to the character and what's going on. It's not separate from the movie. It was actually the climax of the movie.
We were both individually training for months before we even were in Hungary, and then once we both were there, then we just started training together for hours and hours with together, and then with the stunt team.
The fight scenes, they are incredible. How much effort and preparation did you have to go through before?
Yeah, I think that was one of the first things we started. Was with fight training. I think what they've done so well, the stunt coordinators and with the choreography, is really making clear distinctions between different fighting styles amongst different, houses, right? So Atreides, Harkonnens, the Fremen, they all fight differently. Yeah, and then I just started learning the fight choreo. But what we quickly found after I tried on the costume was that the costume made it impossible to do anything that I learned. So we ended up doing most of it on a motion capture stage.
We gave them something to hope for.
That's not hope! May thy knife chip and shatter.
الفايت سينز بالفيلم امبرسيف ومن أكثر الأشياء اللي حبيتها، وخاصة وبدون ما أحرق الفيلم، المواجهة بين بول أتريديز وفيد راثا اللي هي كانت المفضلة عندي.
You will never lose me, Paul Atreides.
بعد ما خلص الفيلم وشفت مشاهد القتال، قررت ألتقي بالمدرب اللي دربهم، لأنه كان عندي فضول أعرف أكثر عن اللي صار خلف الكواليس وشلون قدر يخليهم يمثلون الفايت سينز بهالطريقة، لأنه بالحقيقة شخصياتهم من شفتهم كانوا مختلفين تماماً عن الفيلم. روجر يوان استعان بالمخرج حتى يدرب الممثلين على المهارات القتالية واللي فعلاً أبدع بيها. Stop it. هاي المشاهد القتالية اللي راح نشوفها بفيلم دون بارت 2 واللي حبيت أعطيكم نظرة عليها قبل ما ينزل الفيلم. روجر يوان اللي هو المسؤول على تدريب الممثلين واللي جهزهم للفايت سين راح يكون ويانا اليوم. Roger, it's so good to have you on Raffi Talks. Thank you so much, guys. They did a great job.
Yeah, they did.
Amazing job.
Yeah.
So first of all, we are so happy to have you on Raffi Talks. I watched the movie. It is absolutely incredible.
I can't wait to see the movie. I'm envious of you. Yeah.
How much time do you need to have those actors ready for a movie like that?
What we need or would like and what we actually had is different things.
That's the correct one.
Yeah, because these actors, I'm very, very impressed. Timothée, Zendaya, Austin, Josh, everyone, because everyone is on different projects, and the film is being shot in a short amount of time.
He came from Wonka to completely different kind of film.
Yeah, exactly. Wonka was just finished. Zendaya was coming off of a tennis film. Austin, I think, had finished off of Elvis. None of them had martial arts really as a background in terms of their experience. So what we had to do, literally, was within about 6 to 8 weeks.
Show me who you are.
Let's go all the way back. What were the steps that they had to go through?
That's a great question. What I found out when I realized how little time, how condensed everything was for all the different actors, what I did was actually form a program. So you had, what I had them do is basically offense, which is a toolkit of 10 different cuts, which basically covers all the different offensive actions that a person would have to do for knife cuts. Then defensively, a shield, a pass, a backhand. But those three movements can go in any 360-degree direction. So with those three moves, I would bring the actors in and show offense, defense, and then finally, we would also do what's called in Wing Chun, climbing the tree.
The one you go like from here to here.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah. So if you stick your punch out, right, like this, punch, like this. So from here, it's wrist, elbow, shoulder,
and then head.
Then head, or then here, head. So it's literally that. So it's basically climbing.
Now it feels good, but if it's real, it's not good.
No. So it's basically climbing the tree.
Of course, I have to ask you about working with Timothée, Austin, Zendaya. What was it like?
They're brilliant. I mean, all young actors, very, very dedicated.
Passionate.
Passionate, yeah, and hardworking. And that's why it was very, very easy for me to, to show them whatever the action was, and they performed extremely, extremely well.
You told me a story. When they come here to practice, they are something, and when the camera goes rolling, they're completely different people.
Yeah, Timothée especially. Oftentimes, I'm not sure if he's had enough time in rehearsal, and I'm going, because he's number one in the call sheet, so he's so busy, and I always wonder, like, oh, does he have enough time? As soon as cameras roll, he's in there, everything, just snap right into the spots, into the perfection of the movement. And Zendaya and Austin, just wonderful, wonderful performers, very, very dedicated. Zendaya, actually, because of the armor, there were some points that we were going to do motion capture, which she didn't have to do. We were going to use her double and it was far off shots. She wanted to come in and do her own choreography, even with motion capture. She was that dedicated.
That's crazy.
She did. So everything that you see, she did.
You know, the scene you did today, it's really similar to the fight scene we see in the end of the film, correct?
Yeah, the violence of it.
Kind of inspired by it?
Yeah, kind of. It's similar. It's shorter, and the violence of it, hopefully there's a bit of drama in there too. Yeah.
By the way, that was my favorite scene in the film. I truly enjoyed it. How challenging was it working on it?
It was quite challenging because, Timothée and Austin didn't get a whole lot of time together until maybe about a week before we actually got to shoot that scene. So it was literally, they had to train separately with our stunt team, stunt doubles, and doing the kata, and then we had to bring them together slowly, doing like Tai Chi style first, and then building up speed. And then they also had to act with it. There's a lot of character in there. So as you can tell, hard, but you know what? We were very fortunate to have the two actors that we had.
There's a fight scene between you and Austin. Tell us about that.
I was very, very honored because I played Lieutenant Landville, and he was the last of the Atreides. So Austin Fade kills the last of the Atreides. And again, I'm very, very grateful that Denis trusted me to play that part.
Roger, thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure.
شنو رأيي بالجزء الثاني من دون بارت 2؟ أهم شيء قبل ما نبلش لازم تاخذون بعين الاعتبار ما أحب الساينس فيكشن موفيز. بس خلينا نرجع سريعاً للجزء الأول. ما حبيت طريقة سرد القصة لأنه ما قدر يوفي شخصية بول أتريديس حقها. بس بالجزء الثاني اتعمق وتوسع بالشخصية وراح نشوفه يتحدى مع تشاني وفريمان حتى ينتقمون من المتآمرين اللي دمروا عائلته.
You've been fighting the Harkonnens for decades. My family's been fighting them for centuries.
وحبيت شلون بول لازم يختار بين حب حياته ومصير الكون اللي ممكن يتدمر بأي لحظة. يعني فاينلي شخصية بول صارت فعالة بعد ما كانت بهتة بالجزء الأول.
I'd very much like to be equal to you. Maybe I'll show you the way.
كان واضح الجهد اللي بذلوه والإبداع من قبل مصمم المكياج دونالد مويت اللي ترشح لأوسكار عن أفضل مكياج عن فيلم دون 1. المهمة كانت معقدة وأكيد مو سهلة لأنه المخرج ديني رفض يقول المكياج CGI أو مؤثرات بصرية. خاصة مكياج عائلة هاركنن، وبالتحديد فلاديمير هاركنن اللي كان يعاني من السمنة. صراحة مش شفته بالحقيقة للحظة، حسيت داخل أقابل شخص ثاني لأنه شكله بالحقيقة كان مختلف تماماً. سمعت أنه تحضيرات أخذت من فريق المكياج 16 أسبوع، هذا بس للتحضير، و5 أشخاص حتى ينفذوه. حبيت مشاهد القتال، حبيت الممثلين، أدائهم كان ممتاز، التصوير والمونتاج impressive، الفيجوال إفكتس وبرودكشن ديزاين 5 على 5، فعلاً يخليكم تغرقون بهذا العالم. من تشوف الفيلم صعب تفرق بين المشاهد الحقيقية والCGI. وحبيت كثير طائرات الأوريثابترز وشلون مصممة كاملاً بالكمبيوتر، بس ستيل صعب تصدق إنها مو حقيقية.
You will never lose me as long as you stay who you are.
Consider what you're about to do, Paul Atreides.
باختصار الفيلم تفوق على الجزء الأول بالمؤثرات والتفاصيل التقنية، وأني منبهر جدا بالجزء الثاني، بس النقطة الوحيدة اللي ممكن أعلق عليها هي مدة الفيلم، حسيته طويل. صحيح إنه مستمتع بالفيلم، بس بنفس الوقت تحس إنك فقدت التركيز. الفيلم حلو بس مو لكل شخص، لازم تكون تحب الساينس فيكشن موفيز، ولازم تشوف الجزء الأول قبل، وإلا راح تمل وما راح تحبه أبداً. I'll give it 4 out of 5.